to start?
Ma'am, ours group.
Rahul's group. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. I have the list of names. Okay. I'm maintaining the Excel sheet. Excuse me. Okay. Please start without wasting time.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My
Hmm.
name is Rahul Ghosh. Today our topic is data localization and its benefits and challenges. And I am giving the basic introduction. So let's first understand what is data localization. Data
Uh,
localization, yes,
1 minute, Rahul. How many group members are there in your group?
ma'am, 5.
And just switch on your cameras. Even I'm switching on mine. Yeah. Hmm. Please.
So data localization means storing the data within territorial boundaries of the country. At the 14 G20 summit, which was held in June 2019, India backed data localization laws. Why? Because in April 2018, RBI has issued an circular which mandated payment system operators to store entire data related to financial data only in India. The deadline for making any changes was October 2018. Approximately 80%
Hmm.
of the payment system operators like Google, Paytm, Amazon complied with rule, but several companies like uh, Visa, Mastercards, they are missed the deadlines due to the confusion over data localization rules. Because of this, in June 2019, RBI has gave clarification uh, the rules stating that the processing which is done in abroad, the data should be brought back to India within 24 hours, and the data should be deleted elsewhere. And in the case of cross border transactions, a copy of data can be stored abroad. So why data localization is important? The main intent behind the data localization is to protect the personal and financial informations of the country's citizens and residents from foreign surveillance, and give local governments and regulators the jurisdiction to call for the data when it is required. So, Shankarshan, please throw some light on the positive sides of the data localizations. Thank you, ma'am.
Hmm.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
I'm
afternoon.
going to discuss about some positive side of data localization.
Hmm.
And um, generally, the companies are using the data to understand the requirement of the consumers, and it also influence their behavior. And new products can be developed by the analyzing data to meet the needs of the consumers. And thus the companies and the country's economy will be benefited. And we can also ensure the security of the data. The next point is that while investigating on any crime,
Shankar, just switch on your camera, please. Hmm.
uh, next point is while investigating on any crime, so the if the data is in other country, our country has to get need the access of the data, and thus the investigation become very lengthy process. But if the data is in our country, so the problem will be avoided.
Hmm.
And for data localization in process, the students and many others will get the jobs, so the economy of the country will growth. And for data localization, our own data will be secure and our privacy will maintained. And here are the points of positivity. And the next topic will discuss by my friends.
Okay. Who is the next person to discuss? Who is the next one? Next member in the group?
অন হচ্ছে ও। মানে ওর ডাটা চলে গেছিল হয়তো।
ঠিক আছে, ওকে, ঠিক আছে, তুমি ক্যামেরা ইয়ে করে দাও, সুইচ অফ করো যখন বলবে, সে only at that moment just have your cameras on. Sweetie has joined. Hey, what about the other members in the group? Only 29 people have joined. Satyajit. The group will, the marks will go down. Come on.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. I was late.
Okay. Carry on, please.
Okay, thank you, Rahul. Shankoshan have told the benefits, and I'm telling the challenges. At present, India doesn't have the well-developed infrastructure to ensure the security of data. On the other hand, developed countries already have an efficient infrastructure. So, rushing towards data localization may not be a wise step, because without efficient infrastructure, the data is prone to cyber attacks, and the risk is severe here because it is financial data. But as the laws are made, it is a big challenge to develop efficient infrastructure at a faster pace. And second one is the cost. Storing data in India means higher operation cost for payment system operators, because in other countries they have cheaper alternatives. And also for cross-border transactions, they have to store the data in two places, where increases costs. There is a probability that this extra cost may pass on the consumers, and there is no guarantee that they will delete the data elsewhere, and they may continue to store and analyze the data for their own advantage. And the fourth one is we are in a globalized world. At present, the world is running on the free flow of people, goods, service, and data. Data localization laws seem to be a part of protectionist policies, which is a threat to the free flow of data. And that is, ma'am, I'm done. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Satyajit. Next member.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Rituparna Banerjee. I am talking about some more challenges of this topic, data localization. The base of the internet is the free flow of data. Data localization is also a threat to the main essence of the internet. US is against to the data localization laws. Recently, at G20 summit, Donald Trump, the president of US, spoke against the data localizations. It's tend to natural because it increases the operational costs of US companies. India and US bilateral relations are important for the both countries because we are intervened in export and import of IT services, professionals and goods, etc. So, imposing data localization laws without threatening the Indo-US relations in another challenge. And another is in innovation threats when there is no much financial burden. Hence, data localization laws may threaten the innovation attempts in the digital payment industry. If the processing of the payment transactions is done in the another country, that country may ask these companies to submit the data. So asking them to delete the data in 24 hours may interfere with the laws of the country where the processing is done. And the last one is the data localization may result in government surveillance of its citizens. That's all from my side. Next, we'll proceed by my friend. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Rituparna.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
Now I'm
afternoon.
explaining the steps that were taken worldwide. Okay, not for India, others countries also taking some steps on data localization. As an example, Australia, they mandated their companies to store certain data to store the certain per their to store their certain information only within their countries. And the Russia, they also restricted their companies to store their personal data locally. And now the India implemented the data localizations only for their payments data. Now come to the conclusion. From my point of view, it's too early to judge the data localization. Because it's really relatively a new concept. We will know the real consequence of this law. Okay, and taking steps towards ensuring the security and privacy of this of the citizens. Data localization is very progressive.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome, Shondip Kundu. Okay. So Shankoshan has done, Shondip Kundu done, Rituparna. Anybody left in your group? Or all
No,
have
ma'am.
said?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, 5 of you have only said. That's it. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So stay online till I take the attendance. Please do not leave and listen to what others are saying. Okay. So
Okay,
please,
ma'am.
this helps to develop the listening potentiality, listening capacity. Active listeners are always, given highest priority and preference everywhere. So please listen to what other group members are saying in your group so that you get a good idea and your concepts are enhanced. Okay, the next group, please. Which is the next
Good
group?
afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Suraj. Yes, good afternoon, Suraj.
Yes, ma'am. So,
Yes.
good afternoon, ma'am, and my dear friends. Our topic is, which we will wanna discuss today, is can India make $5 trillion economy by 2024? So, our group member consists of 5, including me. There are Sathi, Sudeep, Tanmay, and Sarban. So, ma'am, without wasting our time, I want to say that the topic which we will gonna discuss today. So, the topic is, ma'am, about India's GDP. So the India's GDP right now, currently the present government has set a target which is $5 trillion economy by 2024. But in 2018, the economy was $2.73 trillion economy. And the April-June quarter, the GDP percentage was 5.7%. And for achieve the target which has been set by the government, there should be at least 8% of GDP, which is quite lesser. So, and the nominal GDP should be at least 12%. So there are some certain things which if our government do, so they could make it possible, ma'am. So these topics are which I am going to highlight, ma'am. The first one is ease of doing business. So ease of doing business is like, ma'am, in 2018, India ranked in world ease of doing business in at 77th positions, which were in India in 2016 they were at 130th rank. That means they improved drastically and quite in a good manner. And there are few more things like RBI has cut down the interest rate. So interest rate, if they cut down, that means the EMI will be cut down, so the purchases will be more and more. So these purchases will result out as a more money will be circulated, and this money circulate will help to grow the economy. And there are few more things like our finance minister has told that they will bring more and more reforms in countries. So this will help to grow the economy. And there are few more things which will they will discuss by our group members. Like Tanmay will move forward the topic. Thank you, ma'am.
Good. Very good. Very good.
Thank
Yes.
you, Suraj. Thank you, ma'am. I'm Tanmoy. And as per Suraj says, our financial minister to emphasize our system. And as per the Sri Rangarajan, who is the former governor of RBI, as a statement, India can't achieve its aspirational goal of becoming $5 trillion economy by 2024 unless it sustained as a growth rate of the about 9% per annum. And
Acha.
our finance minister emphasized that a 5 trillion economy will be make India global economic powerhouse, moving it from the seventh position to third position in the terms of the current dollar exchange rate. And our economy will be growth of India must to utilize some slight dependency burden and growth in the rapid rates. And we should change something with our systems. That things should increase our ease of business and ease of living to enable the private sector, which will be modify our digital marketing and digital system, which is more important for the now in the world to uh, produce our uh, marketing and financial economy. And the process of urbanization has been a very major drive of growth across over the world. And most importantly, participation of women in the workforce is a key of driver of growth for India and performs in the agriculture, which is the our Indian traditional phase, and we should develop the agriculture system with our farmers. And another things which is called our Indian old tradition or our best products is the handloom products or homemade products, which are very demanding outside of India, and we should focus on this and export this item over the world. Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Continue, Sharvin.
Okay. And this was a good concept he has proclaimed. Okay. The next one, please. Yeah. Please continue. Don't give pause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
So now my topic, I'm going to talk about how to empower people. So when the
Yes. Very
question
good.
arises, can India become a $5 trillion economy in 2024? The answer is not no, not yes. We don't know what is going to happen next. But the challenges in India that we must plan and urbanize, how do we recycle the waste? How do we help people or educate people about the consequences of the future that the GDP is falling down and we have to understand what is going to happen next. How do we ensure that we do innovative and sustainable urbanization for tomorrow? These are the key challenges because cities will create growth. They will be the way to take India forward. And it is a very important thing to understand. Over the last 4 years, the government has scrapped a number of laws, over 1300 to be precise. We have done way better from, we are trying to do way better from yesterday, but we have done away with a lot of procedures, rules, and regulations. We have tried to digitalize Indian economy as well. India will see more urbanization that we have done in the last 500 years approximately. There are 30 Indians, there are more than 30 Indians moving from rural areas to the urban areas every minute, and Mumbai is a great example of that. And by 2050, we will have more than 7 million Indians getting into the process of urbanization. The mindset of the most Indians is that we have a large domestic market. So therefore, whatever I produce, I will sold it here. I'll sell it here. But the price we sell in the domestic market, when we export it, we'll get 10 times more than the profit we are earning here. On the
So there is a drain of wealth also. Apart from, along with the brain drain, there is a wealth drain as well. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
a
On the
monetary drain.
on the key things we have to do is that we have to open our economic market to the for the foreign investments, for the foreign investment group as well. But India can't grow at a high rate over the 3 decades without gender parity. Actually, ma'am, in India, only 26% of the women are working, when in the worldwide average is 48%. If such a major chunk is sitting at home, not working, not getting opportunities, we consciously don't put women in the position of power. If we, it is very difficult for us, for India to grow, if we put the women backwards, and we must give them opportunity. We must state that we must help the women to come forward, and each one of us must ensure the women are put into the position of power so that India can become a nation of gender parity as well. We should believe that all people have the potential to succeed. Our job is to see the potential,
Hmm.
find out the lack of the development, and help
Hmm.
them with what they need, and focus on the people and their opportunities and choices as well. The concept of making people aware of the fact that our future generation should be groomed properly for future challenges, and children are sorry, and each children is healthy, educated, engaged in different activities, support and encouraged in
Hmm.
the preferable field as well. For this, integrating the children and their family more deeply into the children and the family more deeply into the day-to-day life, and day-to-day life of the school and home activities, it presents a possible way for raising the overall achievements, including learning skills, then health parameters, and hence improving overall productivity. In other words, creating an ideal environment at home and school level is a way to empower people and a way of empowering the next generation as well. That's all from my side. Now, Shudeep will proceed with the next point. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
After a long time, I got to see all the sweet, sweet faces.
Good afternoon,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. Good
I,
afternoon. Good
uh,
afternoon.
I want to say implementing strategy for this topic.
Acha,
And
how the strategies are implemented in this process. Okay.
yes, to eliminate poverty, we must invest more than proportionately in the children of the poor community families. Now the question is on how to identify the target population of HD plus families. India is committed to compulsory free education for each children till the age of 14 years and so on. Almost all children go to school. Therefore, the real problem is perhaps not with the question of the of education, but rather it is about the quality of education being provided. In India, there are two types of school: the government owned and the private school. The government schools are indeed doing a commendable job of making
Hmm.
education available to greater number of children since they are everywhere and are normally doing it for free and free or for fees that are really within the reach of everyone. They are of great help for people in urban areas too. Most of the government schools today, however, lack even the most basic requirements such as classroom, desks, drinking water, etc.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
There are no separate toilets for boys and girls, and broken windows, fans, furniture, fans, lights, paint, plaster, etc. So, as such, government school in India mainly cater to the very poor section of the society. As per the annual economic survey 2018, around 80% of students in the government primary and elementary school are from the weaker section of the society. After say, selecting students, the strategy will focus on their families and provide all basic needs for better living, including water, toilet, and electricity, cooking gas, primary health, and more to promote human development. Further efforts will be made that all students complete compulsory education. The The strategy will be implemented by government agencies with the help of grassroots worker collaboration with the civil society. Thank you, ma'am. Next point, told my friend, speak my friend Shatin.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
I'm
Good afternoon. Yes.
concluding this.
Please conclude. Yeah. It was very compact. Yes. Carry on. Carry on.
To reach the $5 trillion economy, India has to address the root cause of poverty and inequality in order to empower people. Persistent poverty and inequality are not just a violation of basic human rights of people, but they also undermine the economic growth of a nation by wasting talents and human resources. It leads to a skewed society where power and decision making remains in the hands of a few, leading a greater conflicts and undermining social cohesion. And this is what happening in India. The paper argues that there are grave deficiencies in human development interviews in India that are preventing children from reaching their full potential as noted by Human Capital Index of World Bank. In this matter, commenting on the poor equality of human development measured in terms of HDI, Bill Gates and Ratan Tata rightly noted that human capital is one of India's greatest assets. Yet the world's fastest economy has not touched millions of Indian citizens that at the bottom of the economic pyramid. For this, India has to empower people through a dedicated human development approach. Accordingly, paper suggests a workable framework, HD plus, as to how to invest in people for enhancing productivity in order to achieve the goal of a developed country. In sum, the HD plus strategy, which aims to lay the foundation for the human competency, should be an immediate priority of India. It provides a workable process in achieving not only a target of $5 trillion economy, but also making an empowered India in the next generation. So we can say that it will be difficult for India to reach the $5 trillion economy, but not impossible for India. So lastly, we want to thank you, ma'am, for giving us the opportunity to place our views on these topics. And thank you for grooming us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. With this, we come to the end of this group. Now the third group. It was a nice conclusion drawn. The third group, which is the third group?
Yes, ma'am. My group, Shraddha.
Shraddha. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Shraddha, and all your teammates.
So today our group will discuss on the topic, what is an open book system, its pros, cons, and challenges.
Yeah, and please, all of you, or maybe in a near future, you will require it. The system of open book, giving examination through open book concepts. So please, all of you ensure that you listen to it carefully, okay? Apart from all the other members of the group, even others who are present, your classmates. Yeah, Shraddha, please start.
Okay, now I'll be starting. So first of all, we need to know that what is an open book exam. It is simply an examination in which a student is allowed to consult his books, notes, or any other source material approved by the examiner while the exam is being conducted. Basically, in this exam, a student can take his study materials along with him and consider the study material to answer the questions appearing in the exam. These are mostly practiced in law education, and very rarely these are used in other streams like engineering, finance, etc. For the most part, students are generally not familiar with or have not even heard about the concept of open book exams. For any student who is used to the conventional approach towards learning, the concept of open book exam seems little absurd, as it doesn't make any sense and beats the whole concept of evaluation of a student's learning through the means of conducting an examination. So basically, we know that there are two types of open book exam system. First one is sit-down open book exam, which basically comprises that the traditional format examination in which a student has to visit an examination center and answer the given set of questions in a limited time. The only difference is that candidates are allowed to take the help of certain resources in their answers. In this type of exams, the conducting body can more closely monitor the type of resources used by a student as well as the behavior of student during the exam. And the other type is take home open book exam. In this type of open book exam, students are allowed to take the question paper with them. Then students are asked to answer the questions without taking the help of any other person. And there is a specified time limit within which a student has to hand in their answers to their examination. And now Rajashri will proceed with that topic. Thank you, ma'am.
Actually, yes, you say that, and at the end, I'll draw my conclusion. Okay, okay. Please, it's a lovely topic. Yeah, please continue.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
I'll be now sharing with you all the theme of open book exams. Delhi
Yes.
University conducted online open book exams in 2020 due to COVID-19 pandemic. In open book exams, students are allowed to have their textbooks and other approved reference materials. They can check the material while writing their answers. The ability to find, analyze, and apply the information will be tested through this type of exams. The United States and some other countries have already implemented open book exams in higher education. In India, the concept of open book exams has been discussed in the past few years. Some experts are recommending these exams to reform the Indian education system, and some others are against this alternative to normal exams. Central Board of Secondary Education, or CBSE, has also tested open book exams from 2014 to 2018 to make the exams suitable for all the students who have different abilities and strengths. Now, what are the materials allowed in open book exams? So, the materials allowed in open book exams can vary as per the guidelines issued by the exam conducting body. Some of the commonly allowed materials inside open book exams are personal notes, course books, reference books, instruments such as calculators. Now, some exams even allow students to have an internet connection to retrieve information. And the take-home open book exams that are happening everywhere right now generally do not have any restrictions on the resources used. So that was all from my side. Now Sakshi will be telling us about the pros of open book exams. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Rajeshri. Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you.
I
Yes.
have your friend.
Good evening. Good evening. Warm good evening to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
As now all of you know about what exactly is open book exam. Now I am going to tell some of the pros and cons of the open book exam. Firstly, if we go to the pros part, then open book exam can eliminate the rote learning which is deeply ingrained in our Indian education system. Secondly, the memory-based exam often award the students that have better memory and are a cause to worry to students who can understand the concepts but cannot memorize the stuffs. Open book exam can be a boon for those students who have the different learning abilities. Without the fear of the memory-based test, student can peacefully learn the concepts. At present, students are concentrating more on the preparing themselves for the exam purpose rather than on the conceptual understanding. Now, I must proceed to the cons part of the open book exam. Firstly, the fear of exam encourages many students to study. With open book exam, student may not focus much on their studies. In India, there are many coaching centers that prepare students for various exams. They may provide model answers for all the concepts which can be memorized. These can dilute the purpose of open book exam. Memory training is also important, especially for the children's. Open book exam may discourage students in memorizing even the basic things. And lastly, the fear of forgetting the content will be eliminated. And now the challenges part will be proceed by the Shiny. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
After that, pros and cons, I am telling about the challenges of open book exam. If
Yes.
if students are not guided well to give open book exams, they may just copy what is in the textbook, and it it will not serve the purpose for which the exams are held. Secondly, training a large number of evaluators in the new evaluation method is also a challenge. And lastly, the lack of quality teachers in India will be a serious challenge in implementing the new way of teaching. Students in some high quality schools will be at an advantage over other students. Thank you, ma'am. Those were the challenges, and the conclusion part is explained by my friend.
Thank you, Shayani. Good afternoon, ma'am, and my
Good
dear friends.
afternoon. Yes.
I am
Good
Shrija Ray.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Shrija. Welcome, Shrija. Yeah.
I am Shrija Ray, and I would like to focus on some conceptions and misconceptions about open book exam that people usually grow in their mind. So, the first point is, does open book exam helps the students to cheat legally? So, then let me clear what is an open book exam. An open book examination is that in which students are allowed to refer to either class notes and summaries or a memory aid or textbooks. It is like question paper is given to students prior to sitting in the formal exam or are to complete as take home exam. Actually, in our practical life, we have to handle many problems, but there would be sufficient materials to know something. The main thing needed is the power of thinking, which gets a scope to be boosted up through open book examination platform. Now, coming to the next point, how the open book exam paper should be set. As it is a very new concept to the education system, it is very difficult for the teachers or board to set a question. It would require students to apply their knowledge through the analysis and critical thinking. Questions in open book exams need to be devised to assess the interpretation and the application of knowledge, comprehension skills, and critical thinking skills rather than only knowledge recall. Now coming to the most interesting point, will open book exam be easy and they would be able to find all the answers in the textbook or on their memory aid? Students should not be lured into a false sense of security and fail to properly prepare for an open book exam. Now, my last point is why institutes conduct open book exams. The open book examination is introduced to remote rote learning and more superficial application of knowledge. The main reason of open book exam is that teachers can devise questions that require students to answer in more analytical and critical ways, thus encouraging high order thinking skills in students as compared to closed book traditional exams. Now, I would like to conclude on behalf of my group. An open book exam can bring a revolutionary change in the Indian education system by reforming the method of teaching. But it may not be suitable for primary education and will be useful in higher education. Not just open book exams, but testing different kinds of exams as an alternative to memory-based exam is much needed to improve the quality of our education system. Thank you.
Okay. So how was the impact? Is there anybody left out in this group who needs to be participated? All are done, I believe, because I'm telling all are done. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All are done. No one is absent. The fourth group.
Ma'am, actually, the fourth group, the topic was not clear with them. The last topic was Civil Code of India or Civil Code of India. It is
Civil Code, CODE.
civil. That's why they are not prepared. They informed in the group, so they will be not giving today. So, ma'am, proceeding with the fifth group now.
Yeah, let's not waste
Okay,
time.
ma'am, we are proceeding now.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, why will you waste time? Whichever, because we are all online. So, and since you're being marked, so why will you waste time?
Ma'am,
Please, fifth group, please start.
ma'am,
Bolo?
question, ma'am. Ma'am, can any one of the member in the group can get chance to express his view on another
Or
But
second
twice
time,
and
or
thrice. Yes, why not? It's a group discussion. Why only once? You can say excuse me, and you can say in between also.
okay, ma'am. Because of all are saying in the same manner, so that's why I asking this question.
okay, ma'am. Then we are starting.
Yes, please, without wasting time. Please start.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Our topic is how technology is impacting the banking sector. As we know, in the good old days, the bank keep the long log books, so that they keep the accounts in that log books, and the customer used to bring their passbook so that they can get updated their bank accounts. But this is a very time consuming process. The businesses and the corporate don't have interest in that time of banking sector. But now the time has changed, and in this internet era, the in this internet era, the ATMs have come and the online banking have come. The corporates are now more interest, and they can now bank in 24 into 7. And 24 into 7 banking has helped many businesses to work at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. also, so that the productivity of the corporate sector has been increased via this technology's implementation. And in case of some old person, or like us, the students or any office goers, they don't need to come to the bank for doing their work. They can now do all the works from home only. I think the banking sector coming to the technology front has been a very good boom to the economies of the world, and I think this will more improve. And now I will be calling my all the other members to give their views on it.
Hello.
Next group, yes.
Hello, am I audible?
Next member, yes, clearly.
Yeah, ma'am.
Very clearly.
Previously, we have to check the update
Sequence.
the bank, update the bank passbooks so that we can check about the balance statements, balance, and the transactions. Now we can get in a pinch of hand, means we can get a email or email confirmation or SMS confirmation, so that about the transaction last balance statement, and we can also inquire about our transactions and all. Previously, we have to go to the bank, wait in a long queue. This is how means internet has improved the banking sectors, and corporates have now rely on the banks as the transactions can be done in a piece of hand. We do not have to cut a check for or make a check for making for making for for making any transactions. So we can now do it via internet banking, and also that we can update our KYC details through internet banking. So our verification can be done online, and we can also open account online. So and there is one provisions made by RBI that if we do the complaint via phone or something. If the transactions had not made by ours, then the money will be refunded back to our account. This is one of the utmost positive step taken by RBI to improve our banking sectors. Now I would like Tanmay to say something about how technologies have improved banking sectors. Hello.
Hello. Carry on, carry on. Shayon.
Yeah. So.
Shanto. Why are you giving pause?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So now the banking has improved a lot by via internet banking. Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Bolo.
Can I audible, ma'am? Ma'am,
Clearly.
am I audible?
Clearly.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, my friend already discussed about the topic which we are going to discuss, that the impact of technology on the banking. Ma'am, through this new era of technology, we can transfer our money by sitting in our home, and not only in our own country, but also it can be done in across the all over the world through which is called the international money transfer. One can send his money to help his family from the foreign countries through this online money transfer. Any student who is studying in the foreign university, they can take money from his family through this online money transfer. And also any company can use this online money transfer to sell his product and buy the materials from other countries. And Sayan has already mentioned that KYC is applicable to all of the all of the accounts, so they can't hide their money transfer from that new taxing system. So I think it is very beneficial for us. That's it from my end.
Yes. Yes. Hmm. 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 Thank you. Thank you, Rupam. It was a very nice one. Okay. So the next one.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Tanmay, ma'am.
Tanmay, 808.
Actually, I am discussing Rupam has already told and benefit the UPI and in online banking. I am discussing of the failed transaction in most of the occurring due to the internet connectivity and any other reason. Failed transaction is are one of the most common challenge that online business shoppers face whenever online payment are involved. As simple as it may seem, online payment is complex process. A single
Yes.
small mistake in the payment system can cause a cascade of error that eventually hamper the complete transaction or exchange of money between the two parties involved. Failed transaction occur more often than not, and it often happen. The security and privacy of online shoppers are also compromised. Uh, it must to know that there are only possible two way of unsuccessful payment transaction. It can be either be the amount is not charged or two or the amount is charged. Basically, the first instant is relatively minor issue as the only means that there is insufficient balance or money left in the bank. But as for the second time, is failed transaction is indicate the money has already processed yet to materialize. The second instant usually point to be more serious issue. I say the already failed transaction are occur due to many reasons. Some reason are at internet connectivity since the internet serve as the very backbone of making online payment possible. Any issue associated with the internet connectivity may abruptly disrupt ongoing payment or stop the from taking place. Additionally, an unstable internet connection can also factor the hampers of the success of online transaction. There are many reasons like downtime or maintenance of the balance, then authenticity, then wrong data, balance, etc. But one example, most of the people confused when the oil transaction that the bank balance is dedicated from the bank, but uh, bank is not credited my then it is easily now it easily updated that the money is not money is or if I fail the transaction, then money is or either dedicated on a bank account or easily credited. It is more it is no confused. So it is a more advantage. Previously, if I but payment is failed, then many people are confused. The amount is dedicated or credited. The amount is if it is a more advantage. Now it is updated. Thank you, ma'am.
So, ma'am, my name is Niladri,
Please
and
search. Yes, Niladri. Yes.
I am discuss about the banking cards. That's called debit and credit cards.
8063. Yes.
A debit card is a plastic payment card that can be used instead of cash when making purchase. It is similar to a credit card, but unlike a credit card, the money is immediately transferred directly from the cardholder's bank account when performing any transaction. and from debit card. Some cards might carry a shorted value with which a payment is made. That's called prepaid card. And while most relay a message to the cardholder's bank to withdraw funds from a payer's uh,
Hey, there's some
design
kind of noise going in the background. Okay, see who's.
design
Hmm.
design bank account. In some cases, the primary account number is assigned exclusively for use
Hmm.
on the internet, and there is no physical card. This
Hmm.
is referred to as a virtual card. Now, what is credit card? A credit card is a card which allows people to buy items without cash. That also debit cards too. So each card has a unique number. Using this number plus other details on the card, such as validity date or a code, the client can buy goods or services. The issuer of the card then transfers the money to the seller. The person using the card gets a credit. The
Hmm.
customer has a certain amount of time to
Hmm.
pay the credit card bill.
Hmm.
If the bill is left unpaid for some time, the customer will have to pay interest for the amount that is left unpaid. Right. Payment using a credit card is one of the most common methods of electronic payment. Credit cards are usually small plastic cards with a unique number attached to an account. Most are magnetic sprite cards, and many have an EMV chip for use by card readers. The EMV chip is a main part of the credit card. That also connect our bank account server from anytime we purchase some goods or something thing. Now, debit and credit cards allow for direct withdrawal of funds from a customer's bank account. Under the system, cardholders' account are immediately debited against purchase of services through the computer network. Hence, under debit or credit card, the cardholder must have adequate balance in his account. So that's all my end. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, hello, ma'am. I am Shanto. I want
Hmm.
to add
Hmm.
more points on this discussion, ma'am.
Hmm.
Introduce the mobile banking. Around, ma'am, 90% of the people in the world now use this mobile banking. Through this mobile banking, one can transfer his money, fundings, and also check his spending and buying through this system. And also, one can buy anything from the mobile banking without going outside from his home. And Rupam has already mentioned about the system, the Google Pay, GPay, and many of this. One can use many of this system to use this mobile banking. One can book advance his train ticket, plane ticket, and also hotel booking done through this mobile banking and internet banking in advance. And also one can get the facility of EMI through his credit card through buying to buy any item when he has some limited money.
Hmm.
And now I want to discuss about the some, ma'am, disadvantage of this impact of technology in the banking. First of all, ma'am, now in the banking sector, there is ma'am, recruitment of men is decreasing day to day due to this technology improving. And second thing is, ma'am, the fraud case which we observed in daily life. First of all, the cyber attack. One can lose his information of his account through the cyber attack. And most common cyber attack is, ma'am, phishing, PHISING, where where the hackers are use the similar type of Google site or any Chrome site where they can get information from account holder. It can be done by any link, and it can be also done by anywhere. And I want to now introduce about the, ma'am, RFID readers, we all know, or we already all know about the NFC contactless card, and we can easily use it through without any contact. But but the there is some disadvantage in this contactless card, because through the use of RFID readers, one can take money without knowing to the others, and they can use it in the crowd, or in the uh, when he has the debit card or credit card in his pocket or bag, then one can thief them from the money through use these RFID readers. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, now I would like to say online mutual fund investment. Now, previously, in the 20 years back, you have to go in the Calcutta. There is a place called the Dalhousie place where the shares used to be sold, and now it can be done in a piece of hand. And the market investment has become easy for people. As you know, the capitals are raised by the people, individual shares, which can previously, if we have to wait for the dividend rise, and the we have to predict a long for the a long have to think long about the prediction about the price rise and the dividend increasing dividend. But to nowadays we can sell it in a minute, so that so the transactions have become easy, and we can also open the GMAT and trading account online. And this technology has a huge impact on mutual fund and market investment. And the National Stock Exchange has now made it compulsory for the shareholders to open an online account, or to transfer shares via
Demat account.
yeah, I'm saying about the ma'am, now, so it has become easy for the peoples to transact money, and open and deposit the money to the from the trading account to the demat account. So that second open an FD about the money. So money will not be in markets, will be not a sparse one. It can connect with more people, and it can coordinate all people. That's all from my end.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Okay, ma'am. I am adding another point about how the machine learning or AI is impacting the banking sectors. Nowadays, ML can be used for the bank, can use it for how they will be given better investment, but like giving a loan by scanning the data of the person whom he is getting the loan. He can get the confidence how can is giving the loan is good or bad, and protecting the, and also they can use it, can be used for protecting the fraudulent, which can be useful for the bank as well as the customer to for less losses, and the bank can use the recommender systems to recommend the customer what type of product or the what type of investment they can use, they can go for, so that the bank can have a profit as well as the customer can have a profit. That's my point. I would like to call my other members.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
I'm Shordeep Dutta. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
So, ma'am, I'm going to discuss how IoT is changing the banking industry. So, I'm going to note down some points where IoT is being used. Like by IoT, we can ensure one-tap onboarding. So IoT devices, biometric collection centers, and seamless integration with unique identity management systems at a global level are all possible with IoT. BFSI means banking and financial service are looking for to transform with the help of IoT. These devices are capable of being a single touch point for the BFSI brand while onboarding customers with a snap. Direct biometrics and profile verification capabilities of a third party and provide snappy customers onboarding experiences with one-tap onboarding features that everyone can include that bank can include in their functionalities. Now, I'm going to tell how payment integration ecosystems can be enhanced by IoT. Like IoT devices with its authorization features and completely secured interaction with banking services can enable highly integrated payment gateway scenarios. It will help the BFSI industry segment and locally clustered large to small transaction at different ends, queues, and payment channels. Imagine a refrigerator that helps you automatically pay as you fill a dedicated milk container with a certain amount of milk. Imagine an IoT device enabled card that catches your real-time location data and the odometer data. Further, it let the commuter taxi ride a way just by scanning a QR code available on an integrated digital terminal within the entertainment system. Okay, ma'am. Then next, I'm going to tell something about how IoT is being used in commercial real estate monitoring, like public gateways, escalators, and security systems, if powered by IoT, are capable of registering human interactions with a particular commercial real estate property. It will also consider statistics and figures like resource utilization, like privacy, security used, and the total number of transiting human beings. It will also come with integration of direct little climatic and seismological parameters, thus ensuring a complete safety and better risk management for finance portals. And lastly, I am going to mention how real-time biometrics for health insurance can be made sure by IoT. Wearable devices like smartwatches and fitness trackers are already documenting real-time biometric data like ECG in Apple Watch and calorie counter steps. And wherever you said about matrix includes the pulse rate. All this data can be modeled out for profiling in the individual customers and providing a better personalized insurance plan. It is going to be way cheaper and helping insurance companies track down the insured individuals and their health profiles at all point of time. It will also add like artificial intelligence capabilities like forecasting cardiac arrest we can predict by the previous data of the individual that if whether the customer can when the customer can face a cardiac arrest, so we can customize the more we can customize the insurance for the customers more precisely. And so ma'am, that is from my end.
Okay. The time you have taken, this group has taken a lot of time. I mean, it was very informative, but a lot of time has been consumed. I told, I mean, 10 minutes and it has exceeded to so much. So please, I mean, for corporate GDs, time constraint is something that has to be taken into consideration.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So we are talking about that effect of technology on online loan system. Let's face it, we all dread going to the bank, the long queues, the overly formal attire. It's nerve-wracking in its own strange way, and not to mention it's take forever and a day. With technology, it is no longer a hustle or a time investment. As long as you have a mobile and internet connection, you can apply for an online loan from anywhere, anytime. If we look at on an example for Yes Bank, their customer can check their eligibility for personal loan in 60 seconds or less by using their personal loan eligibility calculator. If they are eligible, they can apply for an online loan from anywhere, and which is quick, easy, and it needs only basic documentation. After all the documentation have been completed, the bank will confirm its appraisal decision within only 5 days. Earlier, it took weeks. due to its slow infrastructure. Then we will come to the mobile application the banking sector have developed. It makes use of IoT to help consumer what responsibilities they will have to face after taking a loan out. Now banks are implementing artificial intelligence to for loan decision making system. It also helps them to streamline risk assessment. Now, if look on the online tax payment system, earlier it took lot of paperwork and it took lot of time also. But in nowadays, Income Tax Department of India launched an e-tax system allows its people to pay their tax through online. There are several benefits of pay taxes online. You can instantly transfer your funds. You can pay taxes from anywhere. What you write on the e-challan will be sent directly to the Income Tax Department. And you also check whether your payment was received by the department by visiting the website of the Tax Information Network. Now, all the transactions through NSDI TIN website is encrypted with secure socket layer, in short SSL authentication. So this online tax payment is totally safe. Also, after the payment, the Income Tax Department sent you an encrypted PDF file of ITR, which is protected with your combination of bank number and your date of birth, so that no one other than payer himself can open that. This online tax payment process helps corporates to pay their taxes effortlessly. In conclusion, we can say what my friends have said is that technology has some negative sides like fraud, scheming, cyber attacks, server issues, but more also technology has more positive impact on banking sector. We can do pretty much everything through online. We do not have to get outside of our home. Not only it saves our time, but it also makes our life easy. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Shubhajit. So we are done almost?
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay.
ম্যাম একটা রিকোয়েস্ট আছে ম্যাম আপনাকে। ম্যাম আপনি একটু টাইমটা একটু ফিক্স করে দিন ম্যাম, কারণ এতক্ষণ ধরে আমরা বসে আছি।
এতক্ষণ ধরে আমার মানে
আছে এরপরে আমাদের 5:30 থেকে।
আমি বারে বলছি মানে এতটা টাইম তোমরা আমি তো ফার্স্টে ইয়েস্টারডে অনলি আই টোল্ড ইউ আই মেনশনড ইওর সো ইউল গেট নেগেটিভ মার্কিং।
ম্যাম অ্যাকচুয়ালি এটা আমাদের 10 জনের গ্রুপ, আগে যেগুলো যারা করে সব 5 জনের তো মিনিমাম তো 15 মিনিট লাগে।
সেটা আমি জানি, সেটা 10 জনের ছিল।
তোরা দুবার করে বলেছিস একজন। এক্স্যাক্টলি
না ঠিক আছে, এটাকে ঠিক আছে ওকে হ্যাঁ শোনো এই যে গ্রুপটা 10 জনের ছিল, কারণ আমি তো মার্কিং গুলো করছি পুরোপুরি 10 জনই বলেছে। হ্যাঁ কয়েকজন ওরা দুবার করে বলেছে, ঠিক আছে। আফটার অল কি বলতো, এটা উই আর ইন আ লার্নিং প্রসেস এন্ড উই আর স্ট্যান্ডিং ইন আ লার্নিং প্ল্যাটফর্ম।
এইটা তুই এখন 5 জনের দুবার করে বলতো মিনিমাম 25 মিনিট লেগে যেত, সেটা তো একটু কম্প্রোমাইজ করতেই হবে ম্যাম।
হ্যাঁ এটা একটু এখন কি বলতো, এটা তো শেখানোর ব্যাপার। আমি ওইভাবে একটা না তাহলে না সেটা বুঝতে পারছি। তোমাদের ট্রেনিংটা কটা থেকে আছে বলো? আচ্ছা তাহলে 5:30 to 7:30। আচ্ছা তাহলে আর কটা গ্রুপ বাকি আছে তোমাদের? ঠিক আছে, আচ্ছা ভেরি কুইকলি শুরু করে দাও, ভেরি কুইকলি। হ্যাঁ
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So today our group is going to discuss on the topic ban on Chinese applications in India. India and China were maintaining good relationship with each other in several ways, economically, politically. Both are members of several international cooperation bodies like the UN System Organization. But suddenly the Chinese troops attacked the Galwan Valley at Ladakh, and in this face off 20 Indian army personnel were killed. So on 2nd September 2020, the government of India banned 118 Chinese apps, including PUBG, under Section 69A of IT Act 2020, citing threat to national security and the privacy of the Indian citizens. The government issued an explanation that these applications are illegally exporting data to locations outside India. It didn't mention the relation of the applications with China, but these apps are mostly of Chinese origin or have a major part of investments from the Chinese companies. Okay, so now let us know what was the impact of this ban in India from my dear friend Devarati.
Okay, Devarati.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes,
Shomushika
Devarati. Good
was
afternoon.
introduced by the fact actually, but as per Indian government report, all these apps are transferring the user data to the location outside India in an unauthorized manner. This is a serious matter to the privacy of Indian citizens. So, this ban is a step forward protecting the privacy and the security of the Indian citizens' data. And other application will also strictly follow the rules favoring the ban. When we actually, ma'am, use those Chinese application, they were very easy to use for everybody. But the fact is, now at the same time, in such cases, few applications are chargeable for the installation in iPhone. So this step will also reduce the India's digital dependency and the established so many companies will be greatly benefited. And the Indian startup and the Indian digital dependency will also reduce. So the other countries may also take similar steps to protect the privacy of their citizens. And this step will also counter China's efforts to become a tech giant, and the banned application have a large user base in India. That's it, ma'am. And the further impact on this topic will continue by Preeti.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Now I will discuss about some other impacts. So the ban will add fuel to the boycott China campaign, which is intensifying due to the coronavirus pandemic and also because of China's aggression at borders. The move may bring more investment to the data centers in India. Many Indians were demanding a ban on TikTok too from a long time due to its weak content moderation and the presence of vulgar content on the platform. As TikTok is watched by children and teenagers too, many were demanding a ban. Even though the app was banned for a short time a year ago, the ban was lifted later. So the recent ban of TikTok app made many people happy. Now, Shayan will conclude this discussion.
Okay. Good evening, ma'am. So, hello, 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 hello. হ্যালো ম্যাম শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
অডিবল সায়ন।
ও আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে।
শুনতে পাচ্ছি, পুরো শুনতে পাচ্ছি, বলো বলো।
আচ্ছা ম্যাম। So I want to conclude by saying that this act is a great opportunity for all Indian companies to launch and upgrade their app as alternative to the banned apps. According to me, the ban of the Chinese app is a very good decision by the government. Many youngsters are very addicted with the game called PUBG Mobile. Many of them waste their half day by playing that. It mainly affects students. In India, there are 33 million PUBG subscribers. So it is clearly affect the growth of our economy. And on the other hand, it helps the Indian tech company to launch their new app, which help to grow the economy. So it is a good decision. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Ma'am, can we start?
Yes, Agni, let your group start.
A very good evening, ma'am, and a very good evening to one and all present over here. Today, we are going to speak on the topic National Health ID pros, cons, and challenges. On 15th August 2020, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched National Digital Health Mission (NDHM), which is a digital health ecosystem with unique health IDs for every citizen. The National Health ID stores all the health-related information such as disease history, diagnosis, prescriptions, etc. The Government of India aimed to digitize the health records of all the citizens by the year 2022. The enrollment in this program is voluntary. Digital health ecosystem was first proposed in National Health Policy 2017, and in 2018, Niti Aayog proposed the concept of a digital health ID in the blueprint of National Health Stack. Its vision is to create a national digital health ecosystem that supports universal health coverage in the efficient, accessible, inclusive, affordable, timely, and safe manner, and a seamless online platform through the provision of a wide range of data, information, and infrastructure services, duly leveraging open, interoperable, standard-based digital systems, and ensures the security, confidentiality, and privacy of health-related personal informations. Next will be continued by Sneha.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Sneha De, and I would like to say about the opportunities that the organizations can have these days. The current public digital infrastructures, which are so strong that they can easily provide opportunities to to streamline healthcare informations through digital management. The experience of ABP JAY, that is Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, that can leveraged to expand the reach of digital health to all the residents and develop an open and interoperable health management system that empowers residents, health providers, the government, as well as the researchers. Now, next is the emerging or the upcoming technologies such as artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, blockchain, and cloud computing provide additional opportunities for facilitating a more holistic digital health ecosystem that can increase the equitable access to health service, improve health outcomes, and reduces the cost. And if we see about the health organizations or the system of other countries like Australia and Canada, they almost spend 6.3 or to 8% of their total GDP in growing their health system. So Canada ranks first and Australia ranks 8th among the best healthcare system in the world. And the pros and cons, I would like to suggest Sucharita to say about it. Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Sucharita. Yes.
Now I am going to discuss the pros of National Health ID program. It can benefit all the parties involved, patients and healthcare professionals. By knowing the entire medical history, doctors can provide better treatment for the patients, and there will be no need to go through all the tests when consulting another doctor. This can save money and efforts of patients. As everything will be recorded, this program instills fear and responsibility in healthcare professionals and hence improve the accountability. So this can reduce the medical errors. With the program, the government will have so much data on the relevant disease and the age group and region. This data can be utilized using the artificial intelligence to craft policies to improve the health of the citizens. This can also help the insurance companies by reducing the huge scope of false claims. In general, Patients are not able to understand the names of the medicine written by the doctors due to their handwriting. With NDHM, prescription will be noted online and hence patients can understand the name of the prescribed medicines. As the charge can be paid through this ID, there is a scope of keeping a check on arbitrary charges by hospitals. The cons part will be discussed by Shushmita. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm
Good
Sushmita.
evening. Yes, good evening, Shushmita.
Yes, ma'am. Now I'm discussing about the cons of NDHM. First one is may compromise of privacy because with this program, sensitive health information will be in hands of the government. If there is no strict implementation of privacy laws, the data may go into the hands of private players too. Digitalizing the health records is very expensive and may put an extra burden on the Indian economy, which is already facing a deep and prolonged slowdown due to coronavirus. In the Indian healthcare sector, there is a shortage of human resources. So, digitalizing health records can become a burden for healthcare institutes. Challenges of NDHM are safeguarding the data and protecting the privacy of enrolled citizens is a big challenge. It can highly misused by the private healthcare sectors, diagnostic labs, pharmaceutical and insurance sectors to exploit the people in the absence of access to a quality public healthcare system. The next one is without a strong healthcare infrastructure and enough human resources in the healthcare sector, this attempt can be failed. So, building a strong healthcare infrastructure is much needed. Uh, Currently, the total health expenditure, both private and public, in India is just 3.6%, while public spending health is just above 1% of the country's GDP, which is a low compared to countries that have some of the best digital health system in the world. To make policies based on the data gathered, consent issues may arise. Taking consent from a large number of citizens can be a difficult task, and consent in terms of dead people can be a challenge. Further, my friend Shagnik will discuss about the conclusion of NDHM. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sushmita. Ma'am, I would like to conclude today's topic. If we implement it well, the National Digital Health Mission can transform the Indian healthcare system. But the scheme will be successful only if the healthcare infrastructure is developed according to the needs. Along with it, a strict private privacy protection policy will help in the success of National Health ID program. Thank you.
Okay. So that's it for today. Hey, students, once we should all have our cameras on and take a screenshot. Anyone, and send it in the WhatsApp link. It has become a mandate in case of lab and theory class. Do you get my point? All of you. Everybody has to be present. Okay. So this has become a mandate. Okay. All of you, this goes to all of you. But many of them have left. Only 20 people are there. So let's have our cameras on and just take a screenshot. Okay, please, who will take the screenshot? Who would like to take the screenshot? Alright, do it fast. You have your training classes. Anyone? Rupam, are you taking the screenshot? So let's have our camera switched on. Okay. So please take the screenshot, all of you. Hey, Shushmita Sagnik. What about Shushmita Sagnik? and 19 others. Devarati, Niladri, Rahul, Rajshri, Rajushri, Rituparna, Rupam,
ম্যাম আমি অন করে রেখেছি।
Sakshi, Sandeep, Sayon.
হ্যাঁ অন তো ম্যাম, কারেন্ট চলে গেছে তাই।
কেউ সেসব নিয়ে আর কিছু দেখে লাভ নেই। চলো, ছবি তুলেছো? Okay, send share it in the WhatsApp group. Okay.